And here's highlights from our last episode. Alright, and first article up. This one's going to be a doozy. You ready for this one?
No one's ready for this one.
Alright, so this decent human being goes by the hashtag PermitPatty. Now, Jason, does that make you kind of wonder why she goes by the hashtag PermitPatty?
It certainly does, sir.
Okay. So let me go ahead and I'll paint a little picture for you. So we have this fine, upstanding human being. So the title of the article goes, "Woman dubbed hashtag PermitPatty appears to call cops on 8-year-old girl selling water in a viral video."
8-year-old girl selling water. Clearly, she needs cuffed and beat because she's a menace to society.
Well, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet she never had a lemonade stand when she was growing up.
No, that's too much work.
No.
Yeah, you just be the middleman of the bottled water makers.
Yeah, but I remember having a lemonade stand when I was a kid, and I didn't have the law come knocking on my door, just be like, well, you need a permit for that.
Yeah, I had one when I was a kid, and we lived out in the country. We might have had 10 cars pass by, not even stop, but pass by. I still had fun. It was neat. But for crying out loud, nobody would have called the cops on me.
So, yeah. So this fine, upstanding human being. So there is a video floating around of, okay, now I'm not going to get into any, big deal with the actual situation. I'm not going to get all, like, the whole, I don't know how to put it.
Oh, you can say it. It's our podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so I think she's racist.
Right.
And it's pretty blatant.
Yes.
And I'm white. And
Me
you're
too.
white.
Yeah. Pretty much my whole life.
And I think this is unacceptable behavior on the woman PermitPatty. Any reasonable human being that would see this would not see as anything more than just a girl selling water.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't know if it's the news painting the picture that they're making it specifically that this woman is white, the 8-year-old girl is black, the mother of the 8-year-old girl is black. It's this huge divide, which we're not going to get into. We already know it exists.
Right.
We see it in the news, but we're just gonna talk about how stupid this person is that they're gonna call the cops for a single permit. Okay, so this video of this woman calling the police on a young black girl who was selling water bottles in San Francisco has went viral. Now, mind you, Let me just go ahead and reference. I'm just gonna say this again. So, woman allegedly calls police on girl who was selling water bottles. I'm not gonna associate to what race either person is.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that later, but let's get through this.
We'll touch on that later. The child's mother, Erin Austin, posted the video on her Instagram account. In it, she follows a woman named Allison Edel, who is holding a phone up to her ear. Austin, who had recently lost her job, told all moms that her 8-year-old daughter, Jordan, was trying to raise money because she wanted to go to Disneyland. I appreciate her hustle.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 8 years old. You can't exactly go work at the Walmart, although they probably take it because, they could pay you less than minimum wage.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do what you do, and when you're excited about Disney World, that's awesome that she's trying to do anything.
I appreciate her. I appreciate her drive to to meet a goal.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jordan was selling bottles of water outside the family's apartment building, which is across the street from AT&T Stadium where the Giants were playing. Great idea.
Yeah.
It's all about location, location, location.
You go where the people are.
That's right. caught off guard when Edel approached 8-year-old girl Jordan for a permit. Wait a second. How many government employees do you know that would come ask for a permit or an ordinance or what kind of government inspector would be wearing
blue t-shirt,
a
black
blue t-shirt
pants,
and yoga pants,
hair pulled back with sunglasses in her hair?
Yeah, she looks like she handles all the permits.
In the face of a woman that is angry that she only got 18 nuggets in her 20 nugget meal.
So anyhow, this, like I said, fine, upstanding human being. Whatever. This woman doesn't want to let a little girl sell some water. Really?
Yeah.
Austin could be heard saying she's calling the police on an 8-year-old little girl. Edel then ducks behind a brick structure, appearing to hide. Really?
I mean, if you're gonna be that
ballsy, if you're gonna be a jerk a-hole like that,
to call the cops on an 8-year-old, right?
At least own it.
Right.
Own being if you're gonna be an asshole, own it.
Right.
Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Edel says the little girl is illegally selling water without a permit. It's unclear whether she's speaking to the cops or to Austin. That seems like the longest cop phone call I've ever seen in my entire life.
Go ahead.
So this goes on. So Edel responds by saying, "It's not your property." In the video, in the video's caption, she is asked to make the woman go. Okay, so the mother, the daughter that's posting it, puts in the caption. This caption, she asked many people to make this go viral under the hashtag PermitPatty. As of Sunday morning, the video has more than 864,000 views. Wow. That definitely went viral.
No kidding.
And it's trended on Twitter.
Of course it is.
God, I didn't even check it today. So Austin's cousin, Raj Lee, posted about the incident on Twitter, said her cousin was gifted 4 tickets to Disneyland by a man who heard about the story.
So it's got a sweet ending.
Yes.
It's not a perfect ending, but it's a sweet ending.
Right. Okay. So that's the ending that that you could hope for anyone to experience. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to the whole beginning of it. I don't think she gave a shit if the girl had a permit or not.
Okay.
I think she just had an axe to grind. And unfortunately, she took it out on an innocent girl. Now, whether it's racially charged, don't know. But it looks that way. I don't know if that's just how the news painted it, just how it happened to be, or like I said, she was just being an a-hole and she just felt like grinding an axe.
Well, there are people out there that, don't give a shit if you're, purple. They're going to make a big stink about whatever, they want to make a big stink about. And maybe she just had a bad day. Maybe she really did only get 18 nuggets in her meal, that poor woman. So maybe race doesn't have anything to do with it. When you watch the video, though, it kind of does give you puts that little nugget in your brain about it. But then what really sets it off is, like we were talking about earlier, the media, it has to be, that there's a white woman calling about a black girl. And if it was white on white, if it was black on black, that probably wouldn't have been in there at all. But because there was this racist undertone, it has to be kind of pulled to the forefront. Am I blaming the media? No. It's what they do. I think we're all used to all the crap that they do now. But yeah, the woman in particular just looks like an angry woman. She just does not look happy that her heart is still beating. She looks a mess and she looks frustrated, and I think she just wants everybody to experience the pain in her life that she's already had. And
I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's truly a fair assessment. I mean, I think it goes back to. I mean, there was another situation that's almost identical to this situation. The family having the barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same situation. Woman's, got this gripe that this family is having a barbecue in this park, and she's just like, "Oh no, you can't have a barbecue, and you can't have an open barbecue in a park." Yes, she happened to be white, and yes, they happen to be a black family. It looks racially charged,
Right.
but it's just seriously, people. Unless you can write the ticket, mind your own business.
Shut up.
It's an 8-year-old girl selling water. Mind your own business.
Yep.
There's far more other things in the world to sweat about.
Yes.
Deal with it. I'm gonna leave it at that. So, I look at this article and I'm so glad that there was a happy ending. I would have been truly bummed out if we'd only seen this article and just been like, really, there was really no outcome or any good outcome. But like I said, there was a decent human being out there that realized that this person was being a complete asshole, and they wanted to show that there are still decent human beings out there.
I've got a friend in Libya that I know I've talked about last week, and it's funny because we talk about how, the media paints things and all this and that, and like you said, it's nice to see that there are still good people in the world. Well, the thing is, honestly, I think the majority of people in this world are good.
I think there is too.
But the people that get the FaceTime and the camera time
are the idiots.
Are the assholes, yeah. And why? Because people want to be drawn into that. And if you don't believe me, then why is there a show called Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
I don't know how they still have a show.
I don't either. I didn't even know it was still on. But you know what I mean? Like, drama. Everybody wants to see drama, and everybody wants to see this and that. They're not going to want to see the happy puppy. Oh, that's cute. And then, you're gone. They want to have something that they can talk about, argue about, fight about, discuss. And we'll kind of get into this later on, because when we were talking about, we'll be getting into biohacking later. We're going to talk about emotions, and that's something, this is kind of points to that. I'll intertwine those later once we get to that biohack thing. But yeah, there are a lot of good people out there, but the fat idiots with axes to grind are the ones that are the ones who get the camera and the million hits.
Yep. Just be decent to your fellow human. Just be decent to human beings.
Really,
it's not that difficult. I'm sorry, PermitPatty, that your life sucks.
Truly.
That, you felt the need to, be a complete a-hole and try to piss on someone else's parade.
Maybe someone needs to get her a ticket to Disneyland. It's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
It might help.
Well, no, maybe they just need to bury the hatchet and just all go to Disneyland. Together.
That would be a reality show I would watch.
I would watch that special.
No kid.
Okay, so good old PermitPatty.
All right.
What an idiot.
No
All right,
kidding.
so moving on to the next one. I can't deal with stupidity anymore. This is what I qualify as a TSL issue. Too stupid to live.
Okay.
This is definitely TSL related. All right, so this article might also fall under that too. All right, so the next one. The hits just keep coming. An Apple Store employee told me I was charging my iPhone wrong.
It's really hard. I mean, if you don't have the instruction booklet, God only knows what you're going to do. How do you charge an iPhone wrong? Since the inception of the iPhone, it's not even micro USB, where you have to plug it in a certain way. You just plug it in. Apparently, the genius, and I'm using air quotes, at the Genius Bar. Had to correct this gentleman.
Okay, so this article is from Zenit, or yeah, I think it's Zenit. So I'm sorry, Chris, I can't pronounce your last name. I'll just call you Chris. So Chris Matzitsky, that's his name. I just added Chris. That's your last name. Chris, I'm sorry. That sounds better. Chris M. Talked about an issue where he went to an Apple store and he was having issues with his iPhone 6. Now, mind you, you're still carrying an iPhone 6 in 2018.
Yeah, that might be one strike on you there, Chris.
Yeah. So, moving on from that. So we went to the Apple store, and so let me just go and quote the article, and I'll just go and read what he said. I explained my problem to the Apple genius. I even showed him by plugging in my iPhone 6 into a store lightning cable. All right. Genius proceeds to say, "There's your problem." And then he says, "Yes, it's not charging." Or no, Chris says, "Yes, it's not charging." The genius looked at Chris as if demonstrated the intelligence of an inebriated vole.
Love it.
That's a hell of a line right there.
That is genius, and I'm using that every day from now on.
Yeah, and then the words that have haunted me ever since, "You're charging it wrong," is what the genius said.
Clearly, he was trying to put the charging port into the headset jack. I mean...
Yeah, the non-existent headset... it does still have the headset jack.
Yeah. How in the world... Explain.
It literally only goes...
You can't do it wrong.
No. It's flat.
Right. It's universal.
There's a top part, it charges. There's a bottom part, it charges. You can turn it in a couple different directions as long as it's still flat. Now, if you're trying to turn it like where it's vertical, where it's straight up and down...
You probably didn't get out of kindergarten.
It doesn't go. It doesn't fit in the hole.
Right.
It's not going to work.
No.
But if it's flat and you just put it in there, it should work.
So how did this genius solve this problem?
Okay. I was lost for syllables. Before I could find even something guttural, the genius grabbed my phone and began a demonstration. Stop the presses. He's demonstrating how to charge an iPhone.
It is important. It is imperative to know how to correctly charge your iPhone, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Steve Jobs is spinning in his grave right now. Okay. Before, so this is what the genius says. Look, you're far too aggressive. It's not like he's jackhammering it into the charging port.
I mean, I know I've come home from work one, having a bad day, and I take my power jack, and I'm just like, son of a bitch! No, I can't think of a time I've ever been aggressive charging my phone.
How do you define that as aggressive? It's like he's like screaming in anger.
Right.
Hulk charge! He's not doing anything like that.
Well, I've heard if you push in the charger faster, then it makes it charge the phone faster. No, I'm full of shit. I was just trying to help this genius, quote-unquote, along here.
I think the genius title is very debatable in this situation.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll get to that
So,
later.
yeah, apparently the customer was putting in his charger too aggressively. Good God, these people. Then he placed the charging cable pin on the very edge of the lightning port. He gave it a gentle push, and it went in. And it went.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt, adding an extra step to the process made it different.
Gentle. Shh. It'll be okay. Just let it happen.
maybe no.
What do you have
Hold on a second.
Do you have to
Jason.
buy your
Wait,
phone?
hold on a second. Maybe he's on to something. Now, if I have a problem with my iPhone 8 Plus, I should just talk to it sweetly. Oh, iPhone 8 Plus, I love you so much. Will you always charge for me? Please say you'll always charge for me. Oh, I'll be so gentle with your port.
Need to start talking like Barry White. Soothe that port into submission.
I promise I will not just jam it in. That's what she said.
Foreplay is there for a reason. Anyway.
So moving right along. Okay, so the phone pretended to charge a little bit and then stopped. Okay. I'm thinking it's the charging port's gone bad.
Makes sense.
Okay. So the genius has he has a good rebuttal for this. Yeah, you wrecked the inside.
You wrecked it.
Damn near wrecked it. Wrecked the whole damn thing.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. Sorry, I had to throw that in there with all the other garbage talk we had in there. Okay.
Oh my god, what is with these people? Oh, I don't know what I can. Oh, it's just too much to handle. So then Chris proceeds to say, "What? Why? How?" I asked a touch too pleadingly. "You're too aggressive. These ports weren't designed for shoving."
Or for shit, really.
It's a gentle process.
Are we wooing our phone? Seriously, are we taking it out to dinner first?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
You can't. This guy clearly has drank the apple Kool-Aid, and no, I'm not talking apple flavored, apple incorporated Kool-Aid. It's got to be gentle. You gotta be sweet to it. If you're angry with it, it just won't charge.
You just gotta give it. No, you just gotta put it softly. Just put it in gently.
Just smoothly.
Because you're just forcing it. You're just being too aggressive.
Why are you being so mean?
Then he took. Okay, now this gets better.
It can't.
He adds more value to the demonstration. Then he took out his own phone, almost like we're comparing dicks at this point.
Right?
All right, so then he took out his own phone and then, with a watchmaker's gentle precision, he showed me pins on the edge, then slide. See? That's what the genius did.
This is how you don't wreck the insides.
This is, oh my god, this is like the worst customer service experience ever. Like, I would just, okay, I'm dead serious. Like, if I went to an Apple store and this guy was, like, doing this, I would have lost it.
No kidding. I would, being a jerk, I would have taken out my camera and
seriously,
filmed
like,
it.
I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I understand a square peg's not going to go into a round hole.
Indeed.
I get that.
Yep.
But there's only one way you can charge the phone. You can't stick the USB in. Any common sense would tell you that the lightning port goes, or cable part goes into the port.
Now, as we talked about before, we both have worked in cell phone business. Before we've dealt with people with this, and I'm sure that you have had the same issues I have, where people have, they're charging their phone, they drop it while it's charging, and those pins break off on the inside.
And I get that.
Yeah, or like whatever. It's a charge port. It's tiny little wires held in with tiny little solder joints. It's going to happen. Now, I understand you should treat your phone certain ways, but guess what? We're Americans. We take our phones for granted. They're at our hips 24/7. So they're going to go through some abuse.
But here's the thing. I think the lightning port is different because as far as a durability standpoint, they're usually, for the most part, pretty bulletproof.
No, and I agree with that. But
it's a pretty bulletproof design because you don't have the bending of the pins, or there's like no inside pins.
But when
there's just top and bottom.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like more of the inside. But either way, I was just going to say that I'm sure that you and I both have never had the issue where someone has come into us, a charge port was broken, and we looked at them and we were like,
"You're charging it wrong."
You're charging it wrong. It was always, at least in my experience, was, man, these things happen. It's something that gets used a lot, and because it gets that use, that wear and tear, it's going to happen. It's no big. Who in their right mind would put all of that on the customer, especially when it's an Apple Genius Bar, when they're supposed to be the most helpful people, the most whatever, and then you got this douche rag. You're doing it wrong.
This I chalk this up to one of the worst customer service experiences that I've run into.
We should do a whole show on that, and we could literally do a whole show on that.
Here's the thing: we would have to split up into parts.
We would.
We would have more than one episode.
Episode 32.
Hold on, and we haven't even got through the story, and we're already 38 minutes in. I haven't got to the full part of the story.
Good sweet Judas, we gotta get moving, sir. Not really. You're at our mercy. We can talk all day long, and you're gonna listen because you love us.
Okay, so moving on to the story. I thought I saw. I knew I was being made to see. This is what Chris's response was to this. But what I was told to do now, why, replace my phone, of course. And he refers to the genius as the vole may not have been inebriated, but he was still a vole. Poor Chris. I mean, mind you, you're still carrying an iPhone 6, and to your credit, I mean, whatever. It's fine, but that's no way to be treated. Seriously.
No.
Okay. So basically, Chris thanked the genius with a gruesome mixture of gratitude and apology, and left. So, Chris now has a new iPhone 6, 2 years after it came out. Well, the iPhone 7 wasn't exactly any 007 caliber gadget, was it? Poor Chris.
Poor Chris.
That is an awful experience.
It really is. And again, especially with a company who prides themselves on, excellent customer service and excellent products, and they're the elite.
Well, here's the thing. When you watch their keynotes, what is it? They have like a 90-some% satisfactory rating.
Exactly.
It's like 90-some. It's like on the high 90s.
That 3% must be talking.
This must be like one of those fringe situations that doesn't fall under that 90-some%.
Yeah. Come
on, Apple. This could easily be fixed. Stop treating your customers like they don't know how to charge their phones. If the guy was able to show the genius how he put his charger in, and it's still not charging, okay. But then you show him to try to do it gently, and it's still, it charges for a second, then stops. There's something going wrong because your logic's not working at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's get off that. Anything you'd like to add with this sense of stupidity right here?
No, other than to say, I mean, I've never been a big fan of Apple products, but man, their products are great, and again, 97%, satisfaction. Don't let the inebriated vole keep you away from Apple products. They're fine products, and they're wonderful people.
Oh my God, the inebriated vole. I'm just gonna refer to people that I dislike as the inebriated vole.
The inebriated vole.
All right, so on a more serious note, this next article, gaming addiction disorder, White House pitches big changes for education department. Now we had briefly talked about we didn't want to get too political on this. We want to focus more on the actual body of the topic and not focus on the political part of it. I think gaming disorder, I agree with that.
No, it is a serious thing, and much like a lot of mental disorders or mental issues, it's not being brought to light at all, or very little. And when it is brought up, there's a certain can't think of the word now, but shadowing over it, whatever, that it's something you're not supposed to talk about, it's taboo, it's this and that, or no, things like this need to be talked about, and it's not comfortable. But that's when things happen, good or bad, is when you get outside comfort zones. And yeah, it sucks to talk about, it's not fun to talk about, it's not fun to admit, but something like this does need to be addressed. So yeah. I was happy.
So the World Health Organization is now classifying gaming disorder as the newest addictive disorder listed in their medical diagnostic guide. So to kind of give you a brief rundown of gaming disorder, symptoms include prioritizing video games over responsibilities and other activities. I feel like that's I feel like that could be equated to a lot of other things.
Oh, sure.
Like procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
But over other responsibilities and other activities, having no control over impulses to play, and increasing time spent playing video games regardless of consequences. To be diagnosed, a person must have significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas of functioning in the last years, according to the World Health Organization. So, I mean, I've experienced this firsthand, not personally, but I don't have a gaming disorder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a lot of time to game, so as far as it being an addiction, yeah, I'm not even remotely close to it. But I can say firsthand that I had a roommate at one point that was severely addicted to online gaming. He would play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. He lost his job at one point where he just decided he wasn't going to go into work. We would ask him if he wanted to go and hang out, go to the bar, go grab something to eat. And he became very antisocial, and just wanted to be consumed by, and at the time it was EverQuest is what the game that he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's other games out there now that sort of, they're online games and
same
people
lines,
can,
yeah,
same kind of concept. But anyhow, yeah, so it was very troubling. And mind you, this was 2004, I want to say about 2003, 2004. So it was very troubling to experience that, because he just started to go into this downward spiral of depression. And he felt like his only outlet at the time was gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a toll after a while, to the point where we literally had to sit him down and say, you have a problem.
Intervention.
And at that point, he started to limit his time playing online. And then he started to slowly wean himself down to the point where it was actually manageable, and he could, work and, take care of his responsibilities. Sure. In general. But it's nice to see this being actually recognized as an issue.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I myself, I know that I have an addictive personality. If I find something that I love or whatever, I know that I tend to put my whole self into it. And I could totally see myself, like when World of Warcraft came out, I could totally see myself being like your friend, which is why I never played, because I knew that about myself, and I'm like, it's just like gambling. I love going to casinos. Love it. I've only been to a casino about 5-6 times, but every time I'm there, I pretty much have to pull myself out And if I have to do that at a casino, could you imagine me playing something like World of Warcraft that's on 24/7, 365 that I can enjoy in the comfort of my own home? That terrifies me. So at least I had that, presence of self. But a lot of people don't know that they could be that way. And again, it sounded like when you said that that was his solace, your friend's solace was getting out. So, I mean, there might have been an underlying issue of depression in there or anxiety, and he found that was a way of coping, and that just kind of built on top of what was already there.
Yeah. And
so, again, whether he knew or didn't know that that was what he was going through, it's something that you and I both agree on. It's something that needs to be talked about, no matter if it's something as simple, well, I guess I shouldn't say simple, as, anxiety or depression, all the way up to other things like schizophrenia or any other type of mental disorder. It's scary to talk about. There's still a lot to learn about that stuff, but really, if we don't talk about it, it's not going to get any better.
Hey, we have a special guest in the episode.
Woohoo!
How's it going, Matt?
What's going on, Chad?
Oh, not much.
So I don't know really how to go any deeper with this. I'm like I said, going back to it, I'm happy that they're finally acknowledging it as an issue. I find, video game addiction can be, equated to like gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to kind of give some honesty to that. I refuse to play League of Legends for that specific reason. I feel like, and this has been brought up to me numerous times by people. I've had people constantly tell me, you need to play League, you really like it, you really enjoy it. It's a really easy, it's not an easy game, but you can pick it up quickly and
right.
You can become really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in my situation, I feel like you, that if I were to pick up League and I really enjoyed it, that I have a tendency to get fixated on things.
Mm-hmm.
And I get in this, I don't know, it's something I've always kind of tried to work out on my own, but like with podcasting, I get fixated on podcasting, and then there's times where I just constantly, I can't get it out of my mind about podcasting, and sometimes it drives my wife crazy. And I feel like, but it's manageable.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where I'm able to draw it back and just kind of reflect and be like, oh, okay, just need to chill with it for a little bit. But I feel like if I were to pick up something like League or among other games like WoW, I would get supremely addicted to it, and I would fixate on it, and it would start to take me away from family responsibilities and stuff like that, and I feel like I could go down a very, very dark road with that. So I'm gonna take the alternate route and not put myself in that situation.
Sure. Well, I mean, you can become addicted to anything.
Right.
I mean, the addictions come from habits. Habits are literally, you do something more than twice and it becomes easier. And then your brain starts remapping that to, I need to continue doing this. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a drug. I mean, drugs just help that along. But playing games, doing things a certain way every day, not going into OCD necessarily, but, doing a certain whatever, you can become addicted to anything. So definitely something that needs to be brought to the forefront. Thank you, White House, for bringing that out, and hopefully we can get some more conversation on stuff like this
now. I actually, there is an addiction that I actually want to happen to me. This is going to be really fun when I say it. I want to be addicted to being like rich.
Right?
I want that addiction.
That would be great.
If I go play the lottery, well, okay, that's gambling. Never mind. That's not going to work.
You want the outcome of that particular, but
here's the thing. I want the outcome, but not the addiction.
Correct. Yes.
I just want to be able to just make money, like a ridiculous amount, like nonstop.
If I could be addicted to something good, it would be
I
healthy
want to be addicted to money.
Yeah, money would be good. Mine would be healthy eating and exercising. I see all my friends out there doing all this stuff, and I'm like, God bless you. I cannot do it. I've tried and tried and tried, and everyone's going to be like, that's because you just said you can't do it. No, I'm going to try it again because that's what I do. But, man, I get going. I start seeing the tiniest little result, and then I quit. I wish I could get addicted to that lifestyle. That would be awesome.
I mean, there's people that are addicted to lifting all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that wouldn't be that bad.
No, I mean,
unless you want to look like the Hulk.
I was gonna say there could be repercussions for that, but I mean, just if I could get addicted to that lifestyle, we'll just put it that way: healthy eating, clean eating, being active. Yeah.
He was addicted to that.
So, there you go.
I'd be okay. I just want to be addicted to making a lot of money,
Absolutely.
and then you can sort out the rest. All right, so that is the last article. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and get into the third act, or whatever the grand finale is, whatever the hell you want to call it, of Flashback Sequence Engaged, the podcast. We'll see you in a bit.
Everything changes.